Hello everyone and welcome to our last day of Trevenant BREAK week. Now, it's been a frustrating week, not gonna lie. The Greninja match and the Mirror were definitely some very frustrating couple of games that we were not able to win because of really weird and improbable circumstances, but such is the game we all love to play. That is the nature of the Pokemon trading card game. Things like that can happen and will happen to you eventually. So yeah, better now than in tournaments, I guess. So I believe I saw Grass and Dragon type. We are apparently waiting for our opponent to load the game, and hopefully the sound will be better by now. Because of the new microphone, I am still working with the sound settings and everything to get them just right. So any feedback you guys have from the level of sound and the level of background music, that would be absolutely great, because with the way I have set up the everything, I cannot hear personally the background music. I know it's playing because I see the little lines going like that, but I cannot personally listen to it. So maybe it's too loud, and because I'm not listening to it, I don't notice, or maybe it's too low and you guys would like me to turn it up a little bit. So either way works for me. Now, Psychic Energies. My opponent does mulligan. I don't know who's going first. I think I need to start paying more attention to that. But if we are going first, I have the Wallies. If we're going second, then I have the Stadium. So either way, we will get the turn 1 Trevenant. Now, this is horrible. It's actually Vileplume Latios. This is absolutely horrible because with a Latios and a Muscle Band, that's how I didn't make top 8 in the previous regional championship. It broke my streak of top cutting tournaments. I had top cut 8 out of 9 tournaments, out of 9 TCG tournaments this year. Now it's 8 out of 10 because I didn't top cut the last one. And it was a really frustrating way because it was the last round. It was game of 3. It was not game of 3. It was game 3 of the last round. If I had won that match, which I had, I was up against Seismito Giratina. My hand was really decent, so I was feeling really confident that I would be able to pull it off. We still had like 30 or 25 minutes to go, so I think it really would have made a big difference if I had managed to pull that off, but alas, I did not. Now we are up against a Latios EX, which is definitely a bit scary. I do have another Phantom, so I will not lose on turn 1. I also have the Wallies, but I'm gonna have my Stadium, so I think priority number 1 here is getting the Trevenant BREAK. He's not doing too much damage. He will 3-hit KO my Pokemon unless he finds another Double Dragon Energy. He even plays a Judge, so I should have benched my other Phantom. That's a problem now. Okay, I get a Phantom back. I even get a Judge, and I can even Lysander up the Shaymin. Wait, the Shaymin that doesn't have a Float Stone. Doesn't matter if I don't get the evolution, in terms of I cannot get the, I mean, if I get an item lock, he gets it as well. And I think, well, actually I don't know, is it better for me to Wallies first, take the, well, he can attach another Double Dragon Energy, so I'm actually going to Lysander up the Shaymin, because I don't know how he set up his energy. He might not even have double colorless energy. I mean, he should, or at least some basic energy in order to be able to retreat and things like that. But yeah, he has basic psychic energy, so not in a good position. Definitely not in a good position. And yeah, the turn 1 item lock seems to be too much for this item lock, for this item locking deck. That's 2 Phantoms in the discard pile, which we will not be able to recover unless I manage to find my Wobbuffet by some miracle. Not gonna counter Stadium just yet. I will, however, attach my energy and just pass here. Doesn't matter if I play the Stadium right now or not, but it would open him for a counter, and he has the other double dragon energy in order to beat me. So yeah, pretty quick and efficient loss on my opponent's, or rather efficient win for my opponent. Nothing really I could have done to stop that, especially with him going first. If I had gone first, then maybe things would have been a little bit different, but that's not up to us, is it? It's a 50-50. We definitely haven't been starting too many games with this deck, and we have played a ton of games because they do go by a bit fast. Now let's see, I do win the flip, so I get to go first. I think it's always better to go first, even though I think the times I have gone first I end up whiffing the Trevenant turn 1, but there's nothing really I can do about that. Now this deck is, I don't know, I think it has a lot of potential if you expect like a super heavy Night March focused meta game, but against other decks I feel like it's a bit fragile. Look at this beautiful hand, 2 Trevenants and a Wallis. Oh boy, we are in for a treat of a game. At least we do go first, so I can attach. I am guaranteed at least 1 energy. I top deck a Wallis against a freaking Vileplume deck, which more likely than not will be able to KO my Wobbuffet on turn 1. And I cannot even use Shaymin because I do have the Wobbuffet. 2 Wallis and 2 Trevenants in my starting hand. No comments, guys, no comments. He's going to get a turn 1 KO unless I top deck a Sycamore. Once Wobbuffet goes down, he will have the item block most likely. Doesn't really matter that Wobbuffet is active unless he whiffs a KO. And I top deck something like an Ultra Ball maybe. But looks like it's going to be another consecutive loss to a Vileplume deck for us, which is definitely not ideal. Definitely not ideal. Now Latios. Gosh, I can't believe how much trouble Latios has been giving me lately. He even has the body rescue. I have nothing, literally nothing in my discard pile. Even though I went first, I was incapable of playing any of my Turner's Mail, any of my Sycamores, any of anything. He gets back the Unknown, so maybe he doesn't have the usual explosive starts that those decks tend to get. Because going for... did he really top deck the Ultra Ball? Through the... Okay, he discards 2 Stadiums, so... Oh, I have a Wobbuffet active. So he cannot Shaymin either. Oh, well, that evens up the playing field a little bit. He might even go for Intelligence Gathering instead of Be Revenge. Be Revenge will deal 60 damage. Yeah, Intelligence Gathering. That's the option that makes the most sense to me. So we get to live a turn because of the fact that we started Wobbuffet. So at least that evened out the playing field a little bit. Let's see what we top deck here. A Trainer's Mail that could definitely make our hand better. Except we are not able to get a supporter off of that. So I'm actually going to counter Stadium. That's actually okay because look, he discarded 2 Stadiums with the Ultra Balls. So that means he only has 1 left, so he might not be able to find it immediately. And I'm going to Psychic Assault. Thank you, Zach, for reminding me about my energy, but if I had a Phantom in play, then I would definitely would. I definitely would have played the energy, but since I only have Shaymin, I don't think it's worth it. It's gonna be a while as well before I get to KO Wobbuffet. He even has the 4th stadium in his hand already. He already has it. Now, does he go for another intelligence gathering, or does he attempt to KO? He actually even has the Sycamore, discards a DCE, and the Bartleby, which I do not agree with. If he was going to discard the DCE, I definitely would have benched the Bartleby. He doesn't need the Pokemon in the discard pile. He has a ton of others he can have access to. And now this really puts a lot of pressure on his energy. I mean, we're not putting any pressure at all, but if we had run anything at all, if we had our Trevenant set up and we were attacking and threatening his energy, then he might be in a lot of trouble then. But that is not the case just yet. Gets another Vespiquen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he deals exactly 100 damage, and now we are completely screwed. Let's see. Wow, I top deck a Phantom, but we are at the point right now where I will even need another energy to do something. And he now has access to Shaymin. He will be able to get with Shaymin EX. And even if I get an energy by some miracle, I will be able to deal 30 to everything. Yeah, big deal. I'm still 3 attacks away from getting a KO. And yeah, I don't think we are winning this by any means. So it's going to be a 3-game video where we featured 2 losses, unfortunately. I think this is probably one of the worst weeks, I think, in terms of results. I get to bring Wobbuffet back. I guess that's something. But I think this is one of the worst weeks in terms of results. The deck just didn't work well for us. Maybe the list is not optimal, but once you draw 2 Trevenant and 2 Wallies without any Phantoms, it's really suspect. Like, that's not a fair assessment on the deck's potential, I guess, because when we got things going early, when we got that turn 1 Trevenant and things like that, we were definitely able to pull off a lot of neat attacks, and we were able to dominate. But now he has all DCEs in play. That's really sick. It's down to 14 cards. The only maybe possible way that I could see myself winning this is if by some miracle he decides to evolve into Vileplume and I'm able to top deck. Well, he evolves into Vileplume before attaching the Floatstone, and I'm able to top deck the Lysander, the 1 Lysander. So yeah, not very likely. Or maybe he decks himself out, which I don't know. He's really trying to get the Vileplume out. But seeing my hand, I mean, or rather seeing how I've been playing, I don't think he really needs to, you know? Okay, so Shaymin is gone. Yeah, the only way I can potentially win here is if I top deck the Lysander, which I do not. And I can't even do damage, which sucks, which really sucks. I can get my Trevenant break, but that doesn't really help me out at all. I mean, I survive the turn potentially. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I do survive the turn potentially. I also prevent item cards from him. He also, if he decides to attack, he gets damage dealt to him. So I guess that would put me just a little bit closer to KOing him if I ever draw an energy or if I draw something next turn. But he's down to 6 cards and I'm down to 41. Maybe maybe if I manage to pull off an attack and then I can draw this Erosic. Yeah, he already evolved into Vileplume. So if I top deck the Lysander, then maybe, just maybe, I can do something. But that's 1 in 41 chance. I top deck the Sycamore. Okay, I'll take that, I guess. I do not top deck a Stadium, and I don't top deck anything to do anything further for next turn, so a lot is going to depend on what I draw if we are able to continue in this game. I'm going to take the bottom prize because that's always where the best things are. Trevenant Mail would be useful if not for his Vileplume in play. So at least the chance of drawing the Lysander is now 1 in 33 instead of 1 in whatever, instead of 1 in 41 that it was last turn. He's also now dealing 160 damage. Oh, but Wobbuffet goes active, so we actually have item cards this turn. Okay, I'll take that. That could work. Okay. We really, okay, and the Bursting Balloon means if he attacks me, he KOs himself. Okay, so I have to really think this through. I have the Ultra Ball. I need to find my Lysander, so what is more likely? I might be able to pull this off. Versus Seeker? No, I'm not going to discard the Versus Seeker. Okay, this is the first search I've made in my deck. So, going to get rid of the Lysander because I do have 1, 2, 3 Versus Seekers. So that's somewhat. Actually, what I'm do I have Shaymin left? Or is it priced? Is the other Shaymin? No, it's not priced. Okay, that's great. So, the Lysander, this is a useless card. And what else is useless? What else is useless? The Wallis, I believe. At least this turn. Yeah, the Wallis is useless. So, I absolutely need to find myself. Like the Bursting Balloon strategy is not my priority. So, I'm going to play this. I guess the Ultra Ball. I mean, I guess I could. I'm gonna keep. I'll keep the Sycamore. I will keep the Sycamore. Now, well, it comes down to does he have an AC or not. It really comes down to that. So, Trainer's Mail. No Versus Seeker. Okay, I do get a Floatstone, so I guess that helps us out a little bit. I'm going to attach it. I'm going to Ultra Ball the energy. The energy and 1 Bursting Balloon. Well, actually, that was a mistake. But anyways, I'm going to get a Shaymin, and now I will shuffle back in the energy and the Phantom just so I can draw a few extra cards. And the Shaymin and the Phantom. Actually, not. Yeah, and the Phantom. Doesn't really matter. As long as I have 1 Trevenant left, that should be okay. Going to first use Shaymin. I still have an... Oh. Wobbuffet. I completely forgot about Wobbuffet. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. 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 Going to Versus Seeker. And I'm going to get an Ultra Ball. Okay. So, I can still do something right now. Going to Ultra Ball, the Shaymin, and a Stadium. That's his last Stadium, so this Dimensional Valley will definitely stick. Okay, the other 2 Trevenants are prized. The other 2 Trevenants are prized, guys. The other 2 Trevenants are literally priced. Okay. Versus Seeker for the Lysander. So I guess I should have put a Trevenant up. I'm going to retreat the Wobbuffet to prevent him from attaching a float stone. Now I can no longer play item cards. And yeah, that's it. Now my strategy is to deck him. I'm going to Ascension, even though there are no Trevenants. Doesn't really matter. And that's it. That's it. Does he have an AC? That's the question here. Does he have an AC? Does he even play the AC? That's a really big question. I'm going to promote Wobbuffet just in case I draw an item card so that I'm able to use it. But I could, yeah, I get a, okay. So I could even Lysander the Shaymin because either he has it or not. So I'm going to first Lysander the Vileplume. Then I guess reverse the Seeker. What? The Lysander again? I guess so. And then I just retreat and pass. And hopefully I take him. That's the hope. If he has a Lysander, he can promote both. Oh, he had the AC. So all of this was for nothing. And that's the game. So I literally made the game longer than it needed to be, but I had to play it out for that, you know? It was my only shot. Maybe the AC could have been priced. You never know. So let's find another game, because those two games have really been pretty bad, and I don't think I've dealt pretty much any damage at all in these two games. So hopefully this one will be better. Guess that dragon, lightning, water type deck. I lose the flip. At least no more Vileplume, which seems to be one of the toughest and definitely worst matchups for this deck. And I start Wobbuffet once again, so I really need to not go for Shaymin. It's actually Raichu Mega Rayquaza. So what's the water type? Octillery? Wow. Well, starting Wobbuffet is probably best case scenario, and we actually have the absolute perfect hand to first deny him item cards, or rather first deny him abilities in terms of Shaymin, and then we can follow up with no item cards from my opponent with the turn 1 Trevenant. Because I do have an energy, I do even have the stadium, but I'm going to hold on to my stadium. He benches the Shaymin for some reason. Well, I guess in that deck every benched Pokemon counts. He even has Raichu Break, so 170 damage, and discards all energy attached to itself. Interesting card, not gonna lie. He just Mega Evolves and passes. So here I get rid of what? Definitely get rid of the weakness policy, and I get rid of the trainer's mail. And then I find myself a Phantom, and I bench it. I attach an energy to it. I attach the floatstone to the active Wobbuffet, and I judge my opponent. Make him have one less card, which means it's less likely for him that he can't do anything at all afterwards. And I get a pretty okay hand to recover from my own judge. And now all I need is to find myself an energy or a stadium to start piling on the damage. Now it's going to be rough KOing this Rayquaza. That will take 8 turns of Silent Fear, so that's probably not too cost effective. But at least we force him to have the stadium and a full bench in order to KO us. And he goes for the tail whip, whatever that does. The defending Pokemon can't attack during your opponent's next turn. Okay, but if I evolve, I should be able to, right? Yeah, I am able to attack now. So I'm going to play the Shaymin. I will draw a few more cards. I get an energy, so I am able to Silent Fear. I'm actually going to play the Wallies right now. Well, actually, that was a mistake. Should have played the Xerosic to remove the TCG and remove the threat. I'm also going to use the compressor. I only have one compressor, but I feel like I draw it so much. I could use the Head Ringer for sure in this matchup. I definitely want to get rid of the other Wallies. I think it's one of the most expendable cards. I will leave one in the deck. And how many Verse Seeker are there? 1, 2, 3. So what I'm actually going to do is get rid of the Lysander, so that I have more odds of, or higher odds of drawing a Verse Seeker and then being able to use it. And I'm just going to Silent Fear here. Now, he already flipped heads on Tail Whip. I hope he flips tails. I guess Tail Whip is a worse version of the Nozzle Pikachu. Because Paralysis is definitely better. And my opponent actually concedes right away. So, man, I feel like I should play another game, but it's already been 3 games. And that the previous game versus Vileplume was, I mean, I did lose, and I guess I never stood a chance, but I tried my best. So I'm going to end the week on a high note with a win. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned to my Facebook page and Twitter on Sunday, so that you find out what deck won the poll. If you already saw the results, then you already saw. And what else? The giveaway, the Jolteon EX giveaway, is still going on. So make sure to follow me on Twitter and retweet the top tweet if you haven't yet. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. I've seen the statistics on YouTube, and a lot of you guys come and watch the videos but have not yet clicked the subscribe button. It really helps me out, and it doesn't take you more than a second, so I would really appreciate that. And I will see you guys next week. All right, thank you guys, and bye bye.